All right, good morning, everybody. All right, so let's just jump into things pretty quickly here. Yeah, buds, you say hi. Say hi. He's not gonna say hi today. Anyway, looking at the 24-hour pip changes, not a whole lot of movement. Quite slow out there. Dollar CAD up a little bit. You're seeing the pound now. The pound data came in exactly what we expected, or I expected yesterday. I said I thought that the 9.8 was a little bit too overzealous. I was expecting a 10, 10.1. We got 10.1. So it wasn't even, I kind of give it the benefit of the doubt with the 10. It came in a little bit higher than that. Now, this is, again, I feel like this is a really important number because it is a year over year based number. You guys know that I don't really believe in the year over year, but everybody right now is talking about, oh, look at that. It's starting to work. Inflation, although the Fed and the central banks are like, yeah, we still have a long way to go. Um, this is a yearly number, and it's not going in the direction that they thought. Okay, the UK thus far, we know where they're at. They've been performing great. Obviously, a lot of whips all around this because people are looking at this and are not sure kind of how to decipher it. Obviously, we got some comments. We got low speaking later today, and we have another CPI later on tonight with New Zealand on a quarterly basis. And again, we see monthly and yearly. Now we got a quarterly, and it's also showing that it's going up. So I think there's a lot going on with this one. BOJ is said to be very of tweaking, yield control in April. Again, we know that the Bank of Japan is not really changing much. They got a new guy, but not really changing their policy much. But I think this is such an important figure. And again, you may say, well, why isn't this exploding? Because it's the narrative, the picture, right? Overall. And again, there was plenty of movement very, very fast. We were looking for a pullback and a nice bang. And yeah, it happened. And again, this is 50 pips now. Now that we have the yen involved, we may get some more. And again, euro pound on 12. So, um, I don't think this will be the first one that we see raised, as I said, with the CPI on a quarterly basis also going a little bit higher. I think we're at a very, I don't want to say cautious, but the Fed is looking at all these things. Well, holy crap, we got more of a GDP than the UK. And what's the UK doing? Theirs is actually raising. And remember, the UK didn't do the big jumps, but they started before the US did with their interest rate rises. So, again, definitely an important number to look at. First yearly one that's increasing. And not increasing. I mean, it did go down. It went from 10.4, which is insane, to 10.1. But they expected a big drop that it was working more than they thought it was, and it didn't. It went down zero point 0.3 versus the zero point 0.6 that they thought it was. So it was half as good as what they thought, and still above 10, right? Um, yeah, and that, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, does this look like it's progress? Not so much. We've been playing at this really, I mean, I guess from here of last June. August since 2022, it's really been right around this 10 mark, right? Up to 10.7, 10.5, 10.1, 10.4, back to 10.1. So, yeah. Definitely something to look at. Looking on Thursday, tomorrow, we have our unemployment claims numbers coming in. Philly Fed expected to be negative. Remember, there was Empire number looked really, really good. So that's kind of going to be another kind of ingredient into the mix. Existing home sales, not really concerned about it. Yellen speaking again. Yellen will again. She is speaking at a U.S. China economic ties at John Hopkins. Um, I think this is. I'm going to say difficult. This is a very, very difficult news release to really kind of trade off of or with. Reason why is because she can talk about independence from China, but the reality is we can't have independence from China. They produce so much. Um, if China decides to go full blown, that's it. Taiwan's going to be folded back in now. The U.S. has made some comments about what they're going to do. I don't think Yellen has any idea, nor does anybody else really out there have any idea what that really does. Because, I mean, they've laid down the law. If they invaded, they would have to literally cut China off, which is impossible, the same way that they cut Russia off. What that does to our economy, I can't even imagine. So it's a little bit different of a scenario when China knows that. So, speaking about this, I don't think Yellen tells us anything one way or the other, maybe raises some more questions. But again, a very, very hard release over there. And then again, Macklin, Waller, and Harker all speaking throughout the day. So unemployment claims in the beginning, I don't think this really changes too much. Maybe turns this, I mean, I guess if it goes up to like 300, that could potentially kind of say, hey, listen, we're definitely heading towards a recession. And that's early morning, could really start at the negative on the morning, or a negative morning. But besides that, a lot of it is, again, more just speculative releases tomorrow. So again, this is a challenging week, right? To be looking at things. And again, 5 pips in 24 hours, you know, 23, 16 here, 16 here, three. I mean, $49 cat is the biggest mover on the board, right? 40 followed by 42. So yeah, just not a lot of movement, but there is. It's not a lot of trend movement. It's a lot of whipsaw back and forth, right? I was looking at this beforehand. Look at that. It was a monstrous move in this one. So we'll cover that in a bit. So the VIX, obviously in the overnight, we got to pop up, and all it's done is brought us right back down. It's up 0.48 right now. It's basically where we closed yesterday, but you'll see all the indices are in the red. And looking at this, it's kind of like, well, wait a second, why is everything in the red? I mean, is it the dollar? Well, the dollar is doing this. It's up 0.15, right? From the European session, it rallied straight up and then came right into the 730 window and is running all back down again. But from where we were yesterday, right? Yesterday we were sitting right here. We're basically at the same spot. It went down, it grabbed this level, and we drew this and said, hey, listen, we know we got buyers in there. And it bounced up and it went right back to the top and right back down again. And we're sitting more or less at the same spot, just a little bit below the 102 number. And again, it's because there's no fundamental, rock solid data points that we're able to use today. Okay. And that's why we're seeing the whip back and forth. But everybody's looking at that 10.1, and we're starting to get really negative here. And what's going to happen with China? Again, the market is aware of this. And Netflix, I guess Netflix had a miss for subscribers. Nobody likes to see that, right? That was long overdue. You got Apple and Tesla both deep in the red. And look at commodities. Is the world ending? We got some big drops over here, right? Dollar, is it a dollar story? Dollar's up 0.15. It's not really doing much, but look at this. Solid red in the commodities, right? Oil under 80. Love it. It's awesome. Natural gas, we were talking about a big drop yesterday, right? Because it was a big, big day up. We were talking about a big reversal back down to that 224 mark, down 5% today. Gold, down 0.83. Silver, up a little bit over 25, which I think is that's it. I'm not exactly sure if this silver popping, right? I mean, you're seeing gold deteriorate a little bit more. We're down to like 1987, right? 1980, I mean, yes, 1987.50. We're popping below that. Silver is starting to turn into the red. If silver accelerates, we'll be back down in the low 24s. But silver at 25, I'm wondering if silver right now is becoming a little bit of a short squeeze. What I mean by that is you're seeing a lot of red over here. So people are looking at this as silver being the speculative play here. Um, you know, could it be the short coverings there that's making this one jack higher? I feel like it could, right? I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now for that. So for right now with the dollar, it's not really telling us a whole lot, but I will say dollar is not up enough to be justifying all these. And again, silver rallying above 25. I mean, I guess you could say, well, China, but at the same time, not China. So kind of hard there. So Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar yesterday morning, we were sitting down in this level right here, 1030. We said that, hey, listen, the only good zone here is really right around that 50% level. We should get some sellers coming in, right? We were sitting right here, and you can see it kind of bottomed, turned exactly where it should have, right? This turn happened at about noon, came back up, grabbed that level. And I said, if you're looking for a trade, this is what we would look for. Obviously, the 67.54 is a better level. But we said, hey, if you're looking for something a little bit more aggressive, here you go. It did not hit the 50% retracement. It literally grabbed the zone that we drew. You can see it right there. And it pushed all the way back to the downside. All right. So again, this is one of those ones you had to be a little bit more aggressive. And in a sideways market, 1 to 3 is right there. In a sideways market, what else do you really have? Right? You got to take a little bit more aggressive. You got to take a little bit more risk because we're not getting these long trends. And really from where we were yesterday was right around here, this 1030 mark. We're kind of right there. We are what? 10 pips difference in 24 hours. So 9 pips. So basically more or less overall flat with one trade using that same basing level that we created yesterday at the 50% retracement level. Bottom side, it turned where it should have. At this point, if it comes back up, there's 2 small little hookups here. Do you take another one off this one? It's there. Not the best setup. It's already been hit. This would be hit number 2 of that same level. I think it's a lower quality, maybe a B or B minus. Could you take it? Sure. It didn't go very, very deep in the level. It actually hasn't hit the 50. Well, it hit the 50 here. And then the second time that level is what kind of kind of which pulled it, kind of mess with it. So yeah, I just wish there was more of a setup in there. There's just not right now, right? We're sitting right in the middle of the 2 different buy and sell zones. Looking at this rolling into the US session, I would assume that this does tear back down again, but I'm looking down here and I'm looking, this is an area where obviously some buyers coming in. There's another area here again, higher, higher, higher buyers there. But am I interested in taking a buy from that? There's basing there. It kind of went deeper. Not really. It's not my favorite of levels. I mean, I actually like this level here better than I like the buys down here. Um, I still think I'm looking for something right now. I think conservative entries top and bottom are these two levels. If you're really looking for something, could there be one more out of that one? Sure, it's only about 9 pips worth of risk. Liked it yesterday, thought it was fine, but for right now, sideways trending, kind of boxed in between two, sitting at the 50% mark. Not really an ideal opportunity, right? Looking at AUSSIEN. So AUSSIEN, we were looking for a pullback. We didn't really get the pullback. This is one of those ones. I watched this one multiple times yesterday. I was looking at this and I was like, okay, let's see. I was like, do we have an entry? Right. So once we popped into the level here, no entry, no entry. This is a doji. It kind of went below, but it touched and went back down again. So there's no space. Raise all the way across, you can see it. Next candle, no space, 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 no space. And then finally it popped through. It's like, there's not an entry here yet, right? It ended up using this a level of basing down here to go higher this way. But as far as this level here, all we did was just ride the level. We never got an entry below, right? So we were looking for something, never got it, and we're really kind of in the same spot now. So it kind of sucks. It was just like, listen, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, man, there's no spacing there for a Harry Potter trade. And then once it broke out the top, it's like, okay, we invalidate it. You can see we're still basing on it. So if anything, maybe we use the level. It based so much in the same level right now. And we talked about with a Harry Potter, we're looking for more of a near term base. I think adjusting this one slightly into this level of basing here, and again, we can put it here because that candle did break through. Um, it did bounce and give us the top side rally off of it, right? All this base, popped away, pulled back, used that same base and took off. And then what it's done now is it's hit it again and kind of based and kind of turned around again. See, I don't even need to go this far now. Right to there. I'm kind of looking at that as the next potential short on there. Again, we have the one touch, we have the two touches. We're kind of getting to three again. If we start the base in there again, then this trade goes live. Is it the ideal entry to use? No, because again, we know we have buyers stepping in here. It's hit it a few times, and we don't have the full 1 to 3. But right now, are we going to use the top side? No, I mean the top side is I can move this over, right? It moved just slightly higher, but is this a great top on there? Not really, right? Pop, 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 pop. Not a lot in there. So, yeah, kind of a hard scenario, right? It's all right. I think I like the Aussie dollar set up a little bit more. And again, it kind of makes sense if the Aussie turns is able to rally just a little bit more here and then fail, or if this is finding the sellers and it starts to fail here, it's also lining us up over here to kind of do a fail. So it's kind of like if we have an Aussie rally and brings this up, yeah, there's two areas of sellers up top. If this turns and fails right here, again, we would also need this one to be failing at the same time, which again, there are sellers there, not ideal, bringing it back down. So there's kind of two different stories for the same kind of little bit here. Euro dollar. Okay. Euro dollar, we had marked this level off. We talked about some selling in here. I'm sorry, some buying in here. It kind of formed the new base and it kind of is confirmed and went off. And that's what it ran off, smashed into this morning at 8. And we've taken a nice rally off it right now. So this one runs into the same problem with the had the Aussie yen. If we're marking off the two areas, the clean, the next closest range of buyers and sellers, we're floating right down the middle with not a lot of sellers. Would I be surprised if this finds something in here and turns and rolls? No, I wouldn't. We're rolling back into the US based session at this point. So um, I don't love the top because this pushed it all the way deep in and pushed it in again. Do I love the bottom side? I don't love it on the bottom side over here either. Um, yeah, it's kind of, it's hard, right? Two tops in this, two tops over here. Hmm. Yeah, right in the middle and nothing in there. So, ugh. I think 110 is the I mean, I think over here is the next area I'm really looking to sell. Maybe some profit taken in there, but this is higher. This I would expect this to break, but that's the closest level. Um hard, hard. Yeah, we're 2 pips in 24 hours. Right? So movement down and up, but we're really floating right smack in the middle. How pinched? Let me see. How pinched is yeah. We got a big pinch in at a level. I wouldn't be surprised if this starts shrinking as well. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I can't really give you a setup on this one. Just this is not a level. This has been tested multiple times. This is a little bit far range, right? 50 something pips higher. It's 8 hours from now. It's got an 85 pip ATR. What are we from the bottom side? 45, 45. There's just not enough catalyst in this one. Ugh. That's why I hate weeks like this. Yeah, I'd say again, if you're looking for super aggressive, there is a level. It's been tested 3 times. It's a little bit. It's going to be riskier. It's going to be like a C-based trade. If you go up to the 110, right, the 109.95, 98 ish area. Again, it's got two small tests up there on that small side, so it's kind of more sitting right there around the 109.95. I think that's the next real kind of short entry I like. I'd box this one off and say, hey, listen, these are probably the two potentials for this one. Again, maybe for news tomorrow is what we're looking for, but we got to move 50 pips in either direction. You're a pound. So we were talking about if we could be down here for news, right? We were looking and expecting, and actually we drew this kind of backwards. We were looking for pound strength, not pound, not euro strength on this one. We were looking for a big move. It pushed up. This arrow is drawn the wrong way. But we were talking about. Remember we talking about the pound strength coming in for this one, not pound weakness. I don't know why we hit the arrow on the wrong, but you can see here's the line. I'll remove the line. What did we do? We came up and we started the roll. That news came in, and then boom, spiked to the downside. Ran right into the opposite side of it at 87.99. And again, nice little kind of push away. And again, it should be pushing back down again. This is a 50% level, so again, great target for the short to the downside. It has pushed it down there though. So if you remember me saying yesterday, unfortunately, this is not really a Harry Potter type trade. There's only about not even 10 pips, about 5 to 8 pips in here before we start running into the levels down here at the 61.8. So only so much we can move to. So eh. Right now, with that push down, I think we drew the fibs on this yesterday too. I'd say probably this level here because we have probably this. Um, Right now, I'd be looking for a stabilization base and push back up again. And I would say the next time we have a decent level of shorting is over 88.32. I don't expect this to hold. I expect, again, it probably gets tested a little bit more. If it goes a little bit deeper, I think we find buyers. But when it does start rallying back up again, the next time we look to pull the trigger is 88.32 on this one. You'll get some help again between the 50, 61, 8. There'll be a lot of people in there trying to figure out where sells are. There's a decent top and a very nice acceleration out, especially with news. So there should be some imbalance. Question is, will we turn down here? At this point, there will be profit taking come in. Again, I don't I think the pound's in trouble. I don't know how much more they can actually raid without causing major problems. I don't think they'll go super aggressive. I think the euro look at this and want to not make the same mistakes that the pound made. I think overall, I think the euro has a little bit more upside in it than the pound. But again, completely understand this, completely justify this one. Makes everything on this one is correct. Euro yen. All right, so euro yen. All right, we're sitting Tuesday. Where are we at here? We were sitting right down here, and I was really kind of hoping we get the break. It kind of came down here again, and you can see the 147. It kind of came up and just rode up in the overnight, and then 5 o'clock we pushed back down again. So I still like this one. Its time is not in yet. We're still not here. Obviously, the movement on this one, we're hoping for more, but let's see. There's our right here is our 9:30, 10 o'clock window. We're a total of 32 pips. So 1 pip worth of movement, but it was literally straight up, straight back down again. So we know up top, 148.14 is the next area where we're really looking to kind of get things short here. What's that? Hold on a sec. I got to sign more stuff. All right. Sterling's like, oh god. Um, so yeah, I think this is the next setup. Right now, we're kind of in between ranges. There are sellers here. I guess if you're looking for super aggressive or something at a rollover point, you could say that one. I don't like this one. I like it when the green is the high candle, not the red. But there's a small zone there. How big is it? 11, 11, 11 pips higher. Okay. All right. All right. Pound dollar. All right. So pound dollar. We talked about the two different levels and we talked about a target down here. We were looking for a big spike. We were looking for a long. We were kind of hoping that we based in here. And this is what we said. We were sitting right here. We were looking for this to kind of come back just a little bit, base, pull up, and then pull back in the European session. We didn't get the rally back up again. We got a sideways base. Okay. Did we get the pull down from here down? Yes, we did. And then we got the explosion move higher. Okay. So this one played out exactly like we would have expected it to, right? Um, the difference is we were looking for a base, a drive forward to break through and take advantage of this big Harry Potter over here. It didn't break through yesterday afternoon. The dollar was not, again, the dollar was being difficult yesterday. We just got basing all day long. It just held its place. We did get the pullback though, and then we got the explosion higher. So this one, when we had it drawn here, we were expecting to be up here for the trade. All it was, we just needed to be adjusted down, and it was fine. So again, the trade worked out. We had an immediate parabolic retracement. The news came out. It turned around at 330 and drove straight back down again where it should have. And we talked about a profit target down here, which again didn't touch it, but it was close enough. That it would have really kind of touched this level where you see the chop. So, um, easy news based trade. Again, it always depends on what happens ahead of time. It looks like it missed it by a little bit, but again, that's probably 61.8 sellers in there that we're kind of helping this one. So right now, in the grand scheme of things, here's our high, here's our low. We're floating right around that 50% mark. Remember, anything from really in here into here is kind of no man's land, right? Um, where does this one go now? The pound news is out, right? The pound news is out. That's why you're seeing the whips all back and forth. We are going to have some US based comments. I actually won't be surprised if this turns and does flip now that their session is ending and ours will continue to push. Um, you know, could there be a zone here for reversal? Sure. It is kind of a 61.8. It's not the first time. It's already been up there once. It got front run by just a little bit. It's just a little bit deep on that one. It's really the best thing we have too, because again, we're in no man's land right now. We're not at one of the extremes. There's no confirmation set in here. Yeah, there's a level here. It's okay. Again, the news trade is really what we're looking for today, and that is out as well as retrace back down again. It was a nice pop. I mean, it was a 65 pip pop up with a reversal right back down, and then another pop back up again. So a lot of whips all back and forth. Again, this is, if you think about this, this is actually, I guess it's more than that. 75 pips up from the red, right? From that peak down, it was 83. So let's just call it what, 160? Oops. And then another 60. So we're talking about 220 pips move with 25 pips of variation. So again, this is why swing trading this is very, very difficult right now. But I'd say if anything, look for shorts out of here, right? Oops, that should be red actually. Right. Look for shorts out of there. The 1 to 3 is probably going to come down probably close to the bottom of this peak. Let's see. Actually, right there. So again, well before the profit target. So if we can pull up to there, again, 1030 reversal, dollar weakness right now, followed by some dollar strength coming in, it could work, right? That's the best thing we got right now with the pound dollar. Pound yen, again, we talk about nice spike up. We were looking for it to be above this level. It tried. It tried. It was like, oh, it formed a base right below. It's like, we got to get through. We got to get through. It couldn't break through beforehand. Then once the news came, straight up. Parabolic move straight back down. And then again, just taking the reversal through. So where do we go with this one now? Now we can adjust some fib targets on this one. I think, this is fine. It's right at that move. Look at that. Let's see. I'm actually gonna change this one. I'm gonna take this one and we're gonna go here. Right. There's a 61.8 there. I think we probably hiccup off this one. Uh, I'm not as concerned about this right now. This red being higher than the green, not as worried about it. I think this one has the ability to run back up again. Is that 168? Yeah, 168. Is that what it came to? Hmm. I think we probably got a probable trade there, but right now we're smack in the middle. I do think this stabilizes. If the yen doesn't screw this one up, I think we can go back up. But right now, those are the two buy and sells. Of the two, this one's it's been hit a few times, but I kind of like its exit over here. It's acceleration through. Um, yeah, kind of same, almost the same story with the Aussie dollar and Euro dollar, right? Being smack in the middle of a range after news pace move, right? News up, news down, smack in the middle. There are sellers, but they're crappy sellers there. I think 167.86, 166.52. Again, I would redraw the fibs on that one, just because again, there is this one that we are trailing behind it, which is kind of the overall greater move. But because we had this pullback here and some lower highs and lower lows, the trend really changed. We still have that area marked off the 165.45, but I think right now looking at this one, there's a hiccup right here at 50, and I know that was a 23.6 on another one, but I think the level down here between the 1561, I think that grabs more buyers. All right, what do we got here? All right, so talked about 134 potential sells. You can see it kind of came up and hit those sellers and pulled back, and then hit those sellers and pulled back again. And we're forming a base right here, right? And that's when it went through. Try to do a Harry Potter, but not anything great. We're still looking for these two levels up top, right? We're still looking for some more movement. Um, hmm, Wish we had something better over here, but there's also not something there. We got a lower quality 134.80. This one's pushed to the brink. I think it's lower quality on that one. This 135.01 is higher than the 78.6 at this point. So we don't have a lot there. This level, obviously, it's been breached now. It hit here, based, came back and used that. So again, like, hey, listen, it's probably breaking. We'll pull that off so we don't confuse anybody. Let's run this up and down. Yeah, you can see. Whoops. You can see between the 50 and 61. Again, definitely some buyers in there. I would say right now, if we can pull all the way back down, there's again, potential area buyers of 133.66. Nothing else I love in there. Again, this is more of kind of a Harry Potter. It's out now. I'll just remove it. We don't need it. I will say this is not. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Tops. I wonder if this comes up and that's what the roll point is. Hmm, 12. Eh, not the worst of levels. Right, and trying to find something, it is a new level that's put in. If you look to the left, yeah, it's kind of an old 61.8 level. It's a little base here with some testing. That's what we're running into. So it's a second touch technically. Coming back up, it looks like it's struggling. It is 1030. This is where we should see a reversal. I was really hoping we get more of a dollar reversal in, not a CAD reversal. Um, hmm. I don't know. If you want to be overly aggressive, not overly, but if you want to be more aggressive with it, I think if we can come back up just a little bit more, I think there's probably a short in there. Whether it has the full room to run all the way down, it's going to be a harder one. How many pips is it? 38. It's all right. Take it for what it's worth. I'd say it's a C plus B minus base trade. It's okay. Again, if you haven't found anything today and you do want to get involved, I think there could be a potential one in here. Not my favorite, but it's not the worst one that's on there, considering what we've been given thus far today. Dollar Swiss. There's your news. What did news do? We were looking for a news move up here. I said, hey, listen, look to see what it does an hour and a half beforehand. We were hoping to be up there. What did the hour and a half beforehand do? It drove it straight down into a level. So this is the same kind of trade that we've talked about on a couple of them, right? Where was the pullback? It wasn't there because we didn't know what it was going to do over the night. It pulled back an hour and a half before, which means it lines up for a long. Take this off. Whoops, not that one. My bad. This one. There's your entry right there. Again, on the line is what we're looking for. And 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So you can see well out. Now we've pulled back down again. As far as using this level for anything else, at this point, it's been hit 2-3 times. This is hit number 3. If anything, I would turn and reverse it back to the downside. You can take this and look for a potential short here. And again, this is also another dollar weakness trade. We are getting a lot of dollar weakness in. I don't know if I'm missing any headlines, but that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. It is a little bit deep in there. Ideally, I would have liked to have it ahead of this red candle, but it's not the end of the world being down here. People will be looking at this point down here as a pivot-based trade. Um, again, playing that old new with the pivot. That is before where our target is up here. So again, if we do get some basing, and I would like to see some basing on this one, you're looking at a break of 89.53 coming all the way down with an eventual profit target. And again, you can see this is above it, but an eventual profit target of 88.34. Again, a lot of movement is up. A lot of this started early morning with the European session and then turned and reversed straight back down again at that 7:30 window this morning. Here's the original zone. Here's all the basing in there. There's a strong touch and it held it. It may bounce one more time off of it. May come in and bounce off of it, but when eventually we break through this 85.55 level, I think take the 89.34 as a trend continuation down. Dollar yen. All right, so there's our 135. We talked about getting it yesterday and potentially finding where the break was. Let's see. Yesterday we were here. So we rode back up again. We based through. We did actually pull back to it, although you wouldn't have been able to grab. But there's your 135. We're going to try to catch it back on the downside when it reversed through. It didn't do that, unfortunately. It sliced through, came back up, and didn't get high enough, so we didn't get the entry. And again, remember, we drew this yesterday trying to figure out where the basing would be. It was kind of there. So you can see we did have a little bit of a pullback, but it didn't quite get in that zone. So, we did get the turn off 135, as we talked about. We're 70 pips down right now. We are still up there. I think really, for me right now, I would say that we are kind of still between this rock and a hard place of 133.85 and then the 135 mark. Again, it got up to 135.13, but we've mentioned that 135 is a big deal. We talked about confirmations as well. Well, here's that another example. There's your red candle. There's your green. It did not go as high up, right? The green candle went to there, so the red was still up high, right? So we're valid, and then there's your red close, and then you can see it continue to drive back to the downside to an area of basing. So right now, sellers, confirmed buyers, running that 50% mark right in the middle, right? This one is 25 pips, so a pip an hour, right? A pip an hour is what this one is doing. But all it did was it spiked up and spiked back down. So from yesterday, let's see. So yesterday's open was about 130 pips, right? About 130 pips. The daily ATR is 137. But yet we have 25 pips in 24 hours. So again, this is why swing trading is very difficult if you're trying to use those larger time frames right now. Everything's got to be on these lower time frames. All right. So yeah. Let's see. Do I have a draw up that I can use? Not really. Not really. That's right now kind of our top and bottom. There's the top of our channel right now. This should break though. The spacing has already popped at once. It should break through there. We should be able to push down. Question is, do we get a confirmation off this lower level? Yeah, I think this one moves another 35 pips, which is funny because it's green right now. Now we're down 21 pips in 24 hours. It's all leveling back out again. Okay, so see Yen's getting a lot of weakness right now. We're getting yen weakness across the board. Funny. Yen weakness across the board, except versus the dollar. Except versus the dollar. Hmm. All right, let's talk about CL. So we talked about CL, and we are talking about 79.50, and this is really where we're going to start watching for this Harry Potter based trade, right? We said the profit taking has come in, so it's kind of adjusted things on us, right? There's kind of where the basing kind of kicked in at. Could you make a case for any of these areas? Yeah, kind of. I mean, we're on a 15-minute right now. We'll go down to a 30, right? You can see we kind of had the basing in, and it's basing in the correct level. On the 30, you can see it's basing in here. The 15, it's a little bit higher up there. On the 15-minute, it's kind of more of a base there. This is the right trade. We were talking about a short from this, and we're looking for this to come down to the 77.50-ish range. Again, this is probably more of a swing-based trade. Right now, it is rallying. Let's see. Oil inventory. It came as expected, right? Here's the API number, right? It basically came in as expected. So I don't know that we'll get a big. Let's see. What is it doing for today? They're calling for minus zero point 0.4, right? Where the API called for a minus 0.46, and it came in just as expected. So, not that one. Yeah, look, no stabilization yet. So I don't think it'll be a big factor today. Curious if it's going to use that as the short. Yeah, it's the closest thing we have. It's too early. Obviously, 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, or 9 o'clock is not. The right spot. Yeah, so right now for news-based trade, it's not helping us a lot. Again, oil is not a big a deal right now. It is pulling back up before the news. So again, I am kind of looking at this one more for a potential short here. We don't really have the Harry Potter entry. If you wanted to use the top one, you probably could on a smaller time frame. But yeah, overall, I'm looking for this to come back down to that 77.50 mark. I know that seems like a monstrous drop, but with some of the data out there, particularly tomorrow, this could also feed into it. So we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get with the oil inventory, how far it pushes us. But I don't think that's actually a horrible. Oops, hold on. Let's see. As of right now, it is. Look at that. So oil very technically traded right now. If I do the kind of yesterday's or yesterday morning or this morning's high to low where we are right now, the 23.6 now. Do you see how it just bisected that orange line in there? I'm wondering if that's going to be. Wonder if that's going to be the pull the trigger spot, right? Is that going to be the pull the trigger spot to the downside? So yeah, and it's still rallying up. Look at that, man. Even on a 1 minute, you can see it's pushing. It's pushing. So it's that'll unfold a couple minutes. Natural gas. All right. So natural gas yesterday, we were calling for some top in there, looking for some type of a confirmation. We said, hey, listen, it's already based here a bunch. Look for some type of a break. Well, look if I extend this across. It was the top here, and then it started the base in that level. And we called for a short somewhere around 232. And there's the short of the 232. We just came down to the second level. And kind of putting us in the same exact spot, right? We were calling of a break of 123 all the way down to 217. Um, so again, first short is done. Second short is again popping in real soon here. So not much to say about that one. Ideally, we want it to kind of drop through. Again, if we get the base in there, that kind of is a trigger as well on these. This should get some movement, obviously from the oil number. Not as much as its own number, but it should get some movement. Excuse me. Kind of seeing where this one goes. All right, kind of seeing where it goes. But yeah, there's your first one. Gold. All right, gold rallying back a little bit. We know with the dollar this morning, right at that 8 o'clock window was when gold started to push. So um, I'll pull this across. You guys can see it is out. Yesterday we were sitting right here. It looks like it tagged that area right at 11:30. So there's the trade. We said it was going to be in there somewhere. The confirmation came in here. Not only did it break through, it pushed all the way down. So didn't really matter which one you took. It looks like it tagged it at 11. So it was close. It tagged it at 11. Actually, I lied. Oh wait, yeah, 11:30. Sorry, 11:30 is when the actual trigger went in. It didn't count the. Looks like it came right to where the point was and didn't touch it or didn't trigger it. It triggered it right here at 11:30. So yeah, 11:30, and then you were out at 2 o'clock this morning. Basically, an overnight hold of gold. Um, and we talked here about getting this from, getting a nice little push down. You got the push, it went all the way back down, and we talked about a potential buy down here. And we were really looking for the zone. Actually, this is supposed to be at the bottom. I'm not sure why that wasn't right there. Did that break just a little bit? Yeah, it did. Yeah, it broke. It broke through the bottom. Right, broke through just a little bottom and yeah, missed it. Had you taken along there, you probably would have got stopped. But you can see it's right back up now. Where it is right now. Okay, this is going to be a very popular draw going from high to low right here. And what people are going to do is say, "Oh, look, right there, right there's your 50 to 60, right, or 50 to 61.8, right." This is a very common place where you expect to see a reversal. Being 10:30, this is when the dollar tends to reverse from the morning. We're at an area right now where I would say, hey, you got to kind of look at this to reverse. Will it continue back to the downside? Sure. Um, is it going to be today? I would say if it's going to be today, we're at that stage right now. We're starting to see selling coming in already. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, the trade's done from yesterday. So I'd say we're in between the two areas. We can adjust this one down a little bit. Let's put this right here. Actually, let me see on 15. Do I have a better zone to use? That's the zone I'd use anyway. Okay, good. Hold on one sec. All right. Yeah. So if you're looking for a short, and, you want to play the gold market today, look for confirmation. Drop it down a lower time frame. Go to a 5 if you want. You could absolutely do it. The same red, green, red. We don't have it yet, but there's our red. As soon as we get that confirmation of that green coming in, look for that second red in there. That's where you pull the trigger and run this back down. I do like this down at 1975. I think that's a decent trade. I'm okay with that one. Silver. Now, silver looks similar. Now, we did have silver coming down here to set the short. We did not get an entry. All we got was a spike down and a spike back up. Love that we had basing in here. So I'm even more excited about this one now. These were great. This gives me something more near term, right? I'm okay with that. Give me the near term pullback right here. I think this is fine. We'll put it here and put it right here. All right. Um, Now we are at an area of sellers. Let's run this down just so we can get a free look at this one. You will see the 50% is there. I still think the 25 is fine. Again, we were kind of close to the 50 here at 25.30. It's probably going to run with gold. Now, gold is in the negative. Silver is positive. But if we get that rollover, and let's see, what is the dollar doing? Yeah, the dollar is coming down. If the dollar can find buyers somewhere in this area, gold and silver should also continue to deteriorate. Again, they're rallying up in that dollar weakness. Comes back in. This should turn and this should be turning at the same spot. Does it rally all the way to 25.43? Maybe, maybe that could potentially be it. Um, yeah, somewhere in there. I would look. There's a flip in here. Look for the flip. Let me see if there's any big headlines just came out. Changes call on your. See this one is. Goldman Sachs changes expectation. Oh, they lowered their expectation. Oh, that's interesting. Goldman, what kind of games you playing here? Banking sessions have receded in the recent years as the risk of an out-year banker has declined. Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with this one, especially with the UK's data being not as much as they thought, right? I don't know about that one because hmm, 3.5 is what they're calling for. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, so Goldman calling for some weakness there. Yeah, I mean, 3.5, a 3.5 euro 3.5 euro actually helps them a little bit as far as exporting go, but it's gonna drive their inflation a bit more in the long run. Hmm. Interesting, Goldman. Well played. Well played, Goldman. Yeah. Anyway, I would say the dollar's getting to a place where we're looking for potential roll. 10:30 would be the time to do it. Gold's at a level where it's close to turning, as well as silver. So look for those two to roll. I think we're pretty close. What do you got? The VIX. Yeah, VIX is deteriorating back. Look, VIX is basically just negative on the day, right? VIX is negative on the day. The fear is dissipating in the overnight back to where we closed yesterday. It's showing that it's up 0.3. Is it? Not really. Let's see what we got indice wise. Again, look, there we go. There's a Harry Potter that we talked about when we came through and broke, and you can see 3M breakthrough of the 4168. There you go. You're out at 5:30 in the morning. It reversed back up again. As far as opening print goes this morning, there's no confirmed zones. I guess that's not true. I guess if you're looking for this as a pop right here, and you said, "Hey, listen, there's your overnight confirmation. There's your 5:30 in the morning move. Here's the Harry Potter." Whether you took this long because you were in this short, we did this one yesterday. Say, look for that base and look for a collapse of it. I'll remove it now. That one is out in the overnight. Let's see if there's a long in there. There is obviously the long. Doesn't look like it's out yet. It needs to go to right there. So we're pretty close. A little dangerous. Playing with danger. Right. Powers is my middle name. Right. At this point, obviously, you have your stop loss broke at least break even. Make sure you have yourself trailed probably to this candle right here. Make it so you definitely can't lose any money on this one. Put yourself at least at a 1-to-1's right there. Yeah. So leave that on. Let yourself run to here. Again, it should be turning off that a little area, but again, at this point, you can't over manipulate this one. Let this one, it's either going to work or it's not, but lock yourself in at least one profit. If you took the second one, right? You could lock it in at 2-to-1 profit if you wanted. It's futures, an opening futures trade with, 1 to 2. It's not, I know people that trade 1 to 2s with just futures. So, but that's exactly where it should have hit something and turned, and you can see that it did. So, you don't want to give up all your profit on this one. But again, so looks like ES had a Harry Potter that we drew yesterday, and then it did have an opening print. It was a level formed yesterday afternoon, which is not ideal. We typically want an overnight one, but there was an overnight confirmation at 5 o'clock in the morning. So showed us that there were buyers there, and there's your opening print. Actually, I guess your opening print is here, but at the 9 o'clock one, when that's bagging its own, you got to pull the trigger a little bit early. NQ. What do we got down here in NQ? NQ had basically the same thing. Right? NQ, there was the larger zone on this one. It did have a confirmation yesterday, so it hit again. So you bring this one down. You could bring it down to probably that level is where you don't want to go too crazy. You're not going to make the level like this. I'd say that was probably the level you wanted to use. You could have used this level here, which you can see it hit, or you could have used this level here, which it hit. Either one is fine. It looks just like the ES. We rallied back up, and you see the base area right here. That's exactly what it ran into on the other side. This one, if you used kind of the original confirmed level, which is there, this one is a 1 to 3, right? You've already hit the 1 to 3 on the top side. Right? It's 1 to 3 right there. Right there. All right. All right. So yeah, that one is out. What do we do with it now? Let's see. Look, it sliced right through the 23.6 like butter and ended up hitting the supply zone, and that's what reversed it. I'll say on this one, I don't think that zone is dead yet. It's trying, but there's obviously some sellers sitting there at 13,130. I would be concerned also. Now, again, this is yesterday afternoon and night. A lot of chop back and forth, but how this deteriorated down. Also, the fact that it is a 50% retracement. I think you got to be real careful. If for some reason we're able to rally today or even maybe tomorrow in the overnight, I think 13,177 is an area that you probably want to watch out for, right? I just think be cautious about that. We got to clear this first. This is the first hurdle, but I think this could be hurdle number 2. So, yeah, just NQ. Be cautious with that one. Watch that one. YM, what do we got? Yeah, the same one. See where the testing comes in? Again, if you use just this morning, you can see there was one there at 6. This one had a little bit of a gap. Looks similar. For me on this one, using this lower zone where this one is touched and this one is touched, that's 3 touches. I don't necessarily feel necessarily as comfortable with that one. Looking top side, it looks like there's a little bit of a piece right here at 730-ish. 730, kind of sketchy. I think there could have been a case made on this just to say, hey, listen, I want to make sure we give both sides of it. There is a confirmation, but the problem with this one is that you also have to respect the fact that there's one on this side, and there's not a 1 to 3 between those 2 levels, right? So, do you take this one short at the 9:30 candle up here? 9:30, actually, the 9:30 is here. Wait, no, the 9:30 is the red. The 9:30 been here. Yeah, you wouldn't have taken a short. The 9:30 is actually past it, but there's not a 1 to 3 here. So for me, this one doesn't really qualify as an entry because it just didn't have the room to run. Buying and selling kind of sandwiched this one in both ways, and you can see it's still chopping back and forth. So this not an entry, not an entry. And let's see if Russell gives us anything here. There's that 18,000 or 1,800 again. Did Russell have anything? Nah, there's no zones. Look, if anything, it was a break, right? There, tested it. Look at this. 5:30, 6 o'clock, break, 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 break. So again, we're not using that for a sell. 8:30 came down. There's nothing over here. No testing, no testing. Nothing confirmed on the top side. All it's doing is sucking back up into the 1800. So Russell had no setup today either. And easy to draw it with this, right? Easy to draw here, right? Where are we at right now? There's your kind of 66. There's your 66. There's your 33. We're kind of smack in the middle with 1800 right there. So no setup on that one either. So looks like ES had the nice two setups. The one Harry Potter we drew yesterday, the reversal up top. Again, you should have those profits locked in. NQ, again, had this one little kind of hiccup. You could have taken this one long with the confirmation at the 8:30 window this morning. Again, ran into the sellers and got immediately reversed back down again. I don't think that's a horrible trade either. So ESNQ good. YM Russell, nothing exciting today. Let's see, is the dollar starting to see the dollar starting to do its pullback now? Okay, the question is, can we really get a close of a candle and a build back to the other side? So, yeah, that's what we got. Let me see. Hold on, what's bonds doing? Bond is just holding flat. It's firm. Okay. All right, that's it for today. Let's go look in oil real quick, and then we'll go ahead and do the drawing for the day. Yeah, oil trying to spike back up to that level and grabbing it. Look how oil's pulling up to that level. It's not a bad spot. There's a lot of movement. A lot of movement in oil very quickly. So yeah, oil's kind of setting up for a little bit of a short trade. And again, that could be more like the recession type comments. So, but again, very fast movement in this one down between 10 and 10:30. Look how much movement is in that window from 10 to 10:30. Lot. I mean, you can see it on the 30-minute as well, right? Huge push down, huge push straight back up again. So overall, again, I think we maintained 77.50 by the end of the week. So awesome. I'd love to get oil low $3 again. So cool. All right, let's do the drawing for today. Look at that. No Mr. Will today. No Mr. Will. Ernest going in big. Neuro going in big. Got to bring those guys up. Marina won yesterday, I believe. Right? She's on her streak for number 2. And then we got Debbie. So it's kind of the girls versus the boys. They're being bullies in here today. But we have no Will, right? Will's like, I'm not getting into that drama. So we'll see how it turns out. Let's close this one down. Let's go ahead and see who has it. Winner of today's drawing is, I was going to tell Will too, as the suspense flows. Reese is the one that is sick now. It's his birthday today. The boys are 13 today. And of course, Reese starts off the morning at 5 o'clock. Dad, I'm going to throw up. I'm like, okay, run to the bathroom quick. So yeah, looks like the next chip has dropped. All right, winner of today's drawing is Neuro. Neuro takes it with 5 today. Again, that was you had 35% chance. Yeah, you start getting that realm, it starts to get crazy. So again, congrats. Let's go back in. Actually, wait, Neuro, did you win yesterday? Hold on. Oh, you did win yesterday, Neuro. I thought it was Marina. She was the day before. Yeah, Marina was the day before. All right, so it was Neuro. So again, Neuro, well played, Neuro. Well played. You get your 100 for today. We're gonna try to stop him and got beat by just a little bit, so it happens. Trying to see what this is doing. I'm very interested in this trade right now. So Ernest loses, we all win. I know, right? It's a hard one. 35. It was 5 versus 7. Pretty much a coin flip on that one, right? Pretty much a coin flip. So, all right, watch this one, guys. It's this oil one is very interesting to watch. I'm very curious to see what this data comes in as. Oh, this is new. Have you guys seen this? Normally we just get the circle window. You guys see this? It's a countdown now. Oh, I got to stay for 30 seconds now. I've never seen a countdown on here before. In 15 years? 20 years? I've never seen a countdown before. This must be a new feature. Normally, we're clicking the green button, like, go ahead, refresh, 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 refresh. Never seen a countdown. This is cool. Let's see. Does it automatically populate or does it just go and give me the circle? Right? I feel like it's just going to give me the circle. Oh, pending. All right, that's pretty cool. I'm excited now. Look at this. Pending, pending, pending. Look, I can't actually click on it. It's not giving me the circle. Ah, this is interesting. Oh, it did it by itself. Look at that. All right, that's pretty cool. That's better than the clicking thing. So look, actually, that's quite a big miss. Because again, we're sitting over here with this data, right? So did somebody know? And again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. The price drove all the way down till 30 minutes beforehand, and then what happened? The price started to rally, and it happened to be a big down draw. Right, missing by 4 million. It's like they knew. So we'll see. Yeah, yeah, interesting spot. And again, it drove right up to an area of sellers. So again, a lot of people start going long. That's where this one turns and rolls to the downside. But overall, again, this should help stabilize it a little bit today. Not a bad read, right? Again, obviously the forecasts were way, way off, both of them, API as well as EIA. So yeah, it is what it is. All right. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern time. I'm told that the stomach bug does not come back around for a second time, but I am going to clean up Reese and hopefully he has the best birthday that he possibly can. So with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. And hopefully you guys grab some of those. Hopefully, I keep saying it, hopefully we get more movement. But look at this, 0, 8, 16, 3, 26. Thankfully, this is moving more. Finally, we're starting to get some pound moving out of it. 45. It's like, oh, give us some movement. Give us some news, please. Please. So, all right. You guys have a good one. Safe trading for everybody. Hope everybody stays safe out there. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.